Hey everybody, welcome back. We're still talking Before Watchmen here with the 20-something man-child, Dave Herndon.
Honorary man-child, David Comer.
And Mr. Comer, what do we got this time?
Before Watchmen line, we're looking at Dr. Manhattan #1. Heavy hitter coming out, J. Michael Straczynski. Obviously, there's been a lot of big names for this whole line, but J. Michael Straczynski has a little of that crossover appeal just from the Babylon 5 days.
Babylon
everything
5.
Else he's worked
He
on.
wrote some amazing Thor stories for Marvel.
Right.
I love him as a writer. I can't think of anything specifically I've not liked. We're going to continue that thread with Dr. Manhattan. I thought this was a pretty well thought out book.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't really talked to you about your thoughts on it yet. This is the first time I'm going to get to hear them. But I thought this was a really well planned out book, considering the non-linear format of the way Dr. Manhattan is brought to us in the original Watchmen series. This continues that. Yes, we see a little bit of those same flashbacks, but unlike in previous Before Watchmen books, I expected to see those flashbacks here because he's living all those moments all the time.
Right. And it was, again, J. Michael Straczynski really captures the cold detachment of Dr. Manhattan, of his, basically he's just kind of watching the world go on around him, and he's analyzing every second of it. You see some pretty cool flashbacks, but for me, much like the character, it kind of left me cold, kind of left me emotionless, and I thought it was decent, but there's only so much you can do with Dr. Manhattan. He's pretty much one note, I think.
Well, I got to tell you though, I love that it's the second page of the book. It's the little man's birthday long before he turns into Dr. Manhattan, and he's getting a birthday present, and he goes through what all could be in the box. It could be a kitten, it could be a teddy bear, it could be a ball and glove, it could be anything until it's opened. And I think that just the allegory there of that is Dr. Manhattan's life.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can be anything, and not just because he can reconstrue the particles to make it anything he wants.
Right.
But to him, anything could be anything, past, present, or future. It's all happening now, and I just really love that scene. And then it goes right in there. That's where he learned to become a watchmaker from his father. What actually was in the box was a broken clock. And then we flash right into when he becomes Dr. Manhattan. When we find out that he left his jacket in the yada yada. We all know that history if we're fans of Watchmen. And I guarantee you're not watching Before Watchmen if you weren't a fan of the Watchmen. And
you also start to see the seeds of the romance with Silk Spectre. But can it really be romance when you're Dr. Manhattan?
When you know how it's going to end already?
How can you leave one woman and go to another? And oh, by the way, you hardly feel emotion anyways. Although they did draw Dr. Manhattan anatomically correct, which is kind of shocking compared to the first volume of the Watchmen.
Well, they went with the...
Yeah, Dr. Manhattan is dangling, so be prepared.
It's definitely not your children's comic book, just like it was. It was an R-rated movie when the movie came out.
Right.
They've stuck with the theme of this is an adult book. Excuse me, I have to turn that page.
But again, one of my problems though is just I have some issues. Just when you've got a character who's that powerful, I don't really see that much interest in what makes him tick, especially when he's got no personality. He's basically a machine that breathes. And oh, by the way, he doesn't need to breathe if he doesn't want to because he's that powerful. Again, it's okay.
I did enjoy seeing the original Watchmen meeting, the first meeting.
There's a lot of words.
A lot of words.
A lot of reading.
That's J. Michael for you.
You're not going to see a lot of explosions.
But where they're drawing, basically names out of a hat to see who you're going to partner with. And he decides he wants to be the Silk Spectre's partner. So literally, as they draw Rorschach's name, he changes it to Silk Spectre on the sheet without anybody knowing. And then we get a nice 2-page explanation of how he just changed everybody's future. Yet he didn't, because once he turned it into Silk Spectre, it always was Silk Spectre. Even though it's clearly Rorschach, as they're pulling it out.
Maybe I'm just not that cerebral, but I could care less. I found that it was interesting, whatever. Obviously, the quality of the book's great, but for me, Dr. Manhattan's never really been one of my favorites. My grade, I have to give the book a good solid C.
Well, and I'm giving it a B. It's got a lot of room for improvement, but I think with J. Michael's writing, this Adam Hughes, which Again, I'm sorry, I don't know a lot of pencilers and drawers, artists in the comic industry.
Really good art.
But the art was amazingly fit to the time when it needed to be, and then when it flashes forward to some of the more futuristic stuff, it's perfect. There's not a lot of coloring you can do with when your main character is blue. So they did an excellent job of making everything pop when it needed to, making... I don't know exactly how I'm going to word this, so I'm just going to shut up.
It's an interesting jumping off point for a first issue.
But I'm giving it a B, and I really hope to see it improve. This is one of the issues, one of 4, so we're not going to have a lot of time to develop the story.